and welcome back to Aston Martin and the 9th race of the 2023 season here at Canada. Both our drivers having moved up the drivers' rankings at the end of last race and cutting the gap to Mercedes. I don't know, I have no idea why we're this competitive. Genuinely, no idea. Our car is still a mid car, but nonetheless, there's nothing really important to talk about before we actually get into the race here. Just a bunch of manufacturing completions that I talked about at the end of last time because we broke a stupid amount of stuff in Azerbaijan. So I'll see you for qualifying. Well, that was the longest practice session of my life just because all 3 sessions involved rain of some kind and it interrupted me every 3 minutes in game. So I had to keep ticking it back to 16 times every 20 seconds or so. It was so annoying. It also means ignore basically anything here because it's completely unrepresentative, apart from the fact that Carlos Sainz has a penalty for driving into the back of Jack Doohan and Alexander Albon has a penalty for driving in the back of Lance Stroll, I think it might have been, but so many people crashed in that. Thankfully, both of our cars got through practice unscathed, apart from the fact neither of them got 100% acclimatization just because of the rain interrupting every single stint, basically, except for the final one. Actually finally managed to get a full stint in the end of third practice, and that is it. Every single stint was interrupted by either rain coming in or rain ending. I think they seriously need to rework the acclimatization as well. The fact that it's an exponential just doesn't work. So whilst our drivers did basically the same amount of laps as they would do normally, just because they had to keep coming in and interrupting and changing tyres means they didn't get anywhere near 100%, particularly Mick at 66, who had one minor moment. It didn't do any damage, but because he had one minor moment in one of the actual longer stints that we were able to do during a wet period, it's why Gasly's got 78 and Mick's got 66. It's just that one little off cost him 12% overall because it stunts your acclimatization if you have an off. So even though they both did the same amount of laps, it's such a dumb process. Why have we given back 3 sets of tyres in practice 3? It was weird at the beginning of practice 3 because it definitely had only given back 1 at the end of practice 2. But why is it giving back 3 at the end of practice 3? We had 3, only these 2 softs have been given back at the start of practice 3, and we used these 2 in practice 3. And for some reason, it's also given back another set of softs. Just some transparency would be nice to know what's happening here. Like, I kind of got it the time when Lance Stroll broke his car in a practice session and it then gave back another set of softs when I didn't want it to. That I kind of get. This makes no sense because now I've just got a random set of hards that we never used in practice that I can't use here. Honestly, I'm going to have to put Pierre out on a set of mediums. That's the only thing I can do because the game screwed me over. Well, I mean, even on mediums, Gasly's done a time good enough to get through it, but we are going to have to run again regardless. To be honest, if he'd been within a second of the leader, I might have not bothered because it's plus 1.466 for Norris there. Obviously, Mick's going to improve out of that, so that would have been a consideration in that regard too. But honestly, if he'd been sort of like 2 tenths faster, I might have not bothered sending Gasly out again. Also, we got to be careful in Canada because I remember last time, even Magnussen, AI Magnussen, didn't get across the line in time, and we had an issue in that respect. So, got to make sure we go out with enough time. Probably about 2 minutes will do the job. But it's more a case of just seeing who goes when. There goes a Williams, so just make sure there's enough space there. Honestly, I might send Gasly high up this list as possible. Oh, he's behind 1 Ferrari and 1 Red Bull at least. Who's next in the queue? A Merc. Another Merc. There's the... I think the Ferrari's going, so yeah, we'll try and get Schumi out now. Just make sure he's not last on track. Both McLarens have gone 2x2. Oh, don't screw Mick over here just because you can't put him in where you want to put him in. And you have to wait for everyone else. It's such a stupid mechanic. At least the other Williams is behind. Okay, Mick's got across the line safely. I think everyone actually will get across the line this year in time. There's one Alfa Romeo that's kind of straggling a little bit, but yeah, they've got about 6 seconds. They're fine. But yeah, last year we didn't get across the line in time, and neither did Magnussen, which was a bit awkward. But on board with Mick for this flying lap to see if he can get through. Now, obviously, every sector is going to be faster because he's on soft tyres, purely for that basis. And, you know, Gasly's gone faster in the first 2 sectors regardless. So Gasly's going to be fine. Checker flag is out. A few people cross the line with enough time to do another lap. That's still not being fixed. When's the next patch for F1 Manager? Because I'd love to know when that's being fixed. What time has Gasly done? He's done well, enough to get him into the top 10, which is promising. So the mediums are about 4 tenths slower then, basically. Well, that's saying Ricardo's gone into the top 10. The McLarens are nowhere last week. Norris stayed 16th as well. Oh, Mick's 17th. That was poor from Mick. Tsunoda got through. What on earth happened to Mick there? That could genuinely just be acclimatization. The fact it was 40, now 15. You also won't get in place from, well, unless Albon's 15th, probably. He won't even get in place from that. I'm not even confident Pierre's going to get in the top 10 here. It's borderline. Okay, first runs are confusing. I've obviously gone on scrub tyres. The Williams and Tsunoda's just gone for it straight away. But once again, we'll wait for Ferraris and Red Bulls to get out of the way. I know one Red Bull's gone. There's the Ferrari. There's the other Red Bull. Actually, on the expectation the other Ferrari will actually go... Oh, he didn't. But never mind, Pierre's out in a decent spot. There's a Merc behind him rather than the other Ferrari, so we should be fine. Today he's just determined to annoy me, it seems like. But we'll go on board with Pierre, start on his flying lap. I can't believe Mick was 17th. That's dumb. It also means I cannot really change anything in Pierre's car. I was tempted to give him the extra parts this weekend because I don't want to do it in France, and that's kind of where he's aiming, looking like it's going to end up being. Because he's probably going to have like pretty poor car parks for both Canada and Silverstone in the races otherwise. Austria wouldn't be an awful shout, you know, if we can manage to get it to Austria. But the fact that Mick qualifies 17th is frustrating. I think the overall incentive I gave for the races was one driver top 14, which I think is doable either way, really. I've not really looked at his sector times, but I mean, he's slower in the first, faster in the second. Probably going to do a comparative time, and only Tsunoda could put him out of the top 10 now anyway, and he fit across the line first. That's getting on my nose now, that. Russell's 4th, but it's very tight between 4th and, well, 11th. Hamilton's out. Gasly improves, but doesn't go faster than Magnussen. Good lord. Sainz did a poor lap. What's going on with Sainz? Oh, Sainz must have broken his car. Ricciardo 5th. I don't know why Ricciardo's got pace. Ricciardo got pace, but Norris didn't. So top 10 for Gasly again. That's not too awful. I mean, Daniel is consistent, at least, and so is Pierre. Now, Carlos Sainz clearly broke his car because he's done the same lap time in both sessions. I mean, realistically, you want to avoid being ahead of Perez, Leclerc, or Verstappen at this stage, but... Oh, they're actually going already. Blimey, they're not wasting any time. Because I don't know which Ferrari is which, just from a visual standpoint on the outboard right now. Both Ferraris are gone anyway. Pierre Miles will be last on track here. I was waiting for the other Merc to move, though. I forgot Hamilton was actually already out. Oh, he weren't last on track. But outboard for this lap. I mean, 4th through 10th is wild, just because of Sainz's broken car. If we can somehow get a little bit of time, and I did send Pierre out on his double used softs rather than the set we just did the lap in Q2 on. So he should be actually significantly faster on a completely brand new set. If he's somehow slower in the first sector, I'm going to be alarmed. Because by the time he's actually doing a flying lap on those other ones, they would have done 5 or 6 laps already. But through the chicane... Heading towards the hairpin. See, Ricciardo does like a really poor lap on the used softs, and then whenever he does the fresh softs, he's gained like 5/10. He's done it again. He's gone ahead of Sainz into 6th. Russell finishes 4th. Leclerc doesn't really improve, so it's Verstappen, Leclerc. Perez yet to cross the line and will be next. It's actually only Perez, Gasly, and ourselves. We've been usurped by Magnussen, I guess. Oh no, Ricciardo was the one behind us, wasn't he? We go ahead of Sainz into 7th. That's not bad. Aston Ocon. So it'll be Gasly alongside Ocon then. 5,000 separating those two. Circuit info says safety car is 67. He had 1 race with no deployments and 1 race with 3 deployments or more. Right, so Pierre, what are we going to do with you? Since you got a fresh pair of mediums. I mean, apparently there's not a lot of difference between 1 stop and 2 stop. I'm expecting a safety car at some point, so start on mediums. Probably not the worst thing for Pierre, just in case there isn't one. Whereas I think Mick could probably do just about, because you'll have a fresh pair of softs to use. I think if you go like 2 laps later, should be alright. Try and get Mick as many places as possible. Now, yeah, it's either this race or the next one. You're going to want to... Oh, he's still got a complete fresh engine. What am I talking about? ERS is going to be on the borderline, and there is another end. Oh, we're fine. We're fine. Yeah, we can take those penalties in Austria, probably.
This is it. We're moments away now at the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
Away we go indeed. Gasly already trying to... I mean, I don't know what Ricciardo's race pace is going to be like. Mick's already up to 15th. Albon's had a shocker. What has happened to Albon? Oh no, he's just 3 wide. It's just a lot of shifting. I mean, he's not a shocker. He started 12th. Oh no, he had the penalty, didn't he? Will we watch that?
Let's have a look here.
So off the line, yeah, Albon only started 15th then. But he's on the inside. There's a Williams, of course, in the top 15.
And what a great move that was.
Well, he's technically not ahead of them yet, but Norris got squeezed. But Mick is currently still fighting Albon. If he can get on the inside of the Williams, that'll be lovely here. Not quite. But he's got Albon now. Sainz is 11th. He's going backwards. Gasly's taking Alonso meanwhile. Where's that happened? Oh, in the same place pretty much. Is he not on the outside of that corner? Yeah, I mean, Mick was on the inside here and made it work. And Gasly's done it on mediums on the outside. Quite frankly, that was spectacular. Ricciardo's up to 5th as well. He's having a good start. Mick's got Tsunoda behind as well. Who else are we looking at? Vettel next, maybe?
Looks like Aston Martin have just
well,
gained the race
won't
position.
rewatch that one. On the back of Vettel now, of course. His mentor, who's simultaneously looking at the back of Bottas. It was important to clear the Williams because they will fall off. Yeah, Sainz is broken. He's just not going anywhere in the race. Albon doesn't appear to have broken his car at least. Oh, he's got Ricciardo.
Yeah, take it easy.
We'll rewatch that. Around the first corners. Is he making the move stick on the outside of it? Just having the drive out of the corner. He does indeed. Good work. Both on mediums as well. Alright, we'll just go neutral and everything. That is Mick. No, it's Gasly having a look at Russell now, who is a second off Perez already. Schumacher's got Vettel. I'm not watching every highlight at the beginning here because there's been quite a lot of them. Pierre really sort of having a look at Russell here, but not even bothering with the slipstream on the straight. You might need to pull back into it. Mick on the back of Bottas now. Yes, Tsunoda did break a second, and Ricciardo is struggling to keep up with Gasly and Russell, although he is within a second now. The only DRS is the main straight and the subsequent pit straight, isn't it? Oh no, there's DRS on the back, isn't there? After the upcoming sequence of corners. So if Ricciardo's within a second by this line here, he'll have DRS. He might not have been. Gasly has, though. And the fact that Russell's on softs here could be really helpful, because we're going to be behind by the detection point, which is up there, and we'll be... Oh, I mean, Alonso's making a go of both drivers there, just briefly. But it's Gasly that's going to have the charge towards Russell. Let's see if he gets anywhere close. Pulls out. It's going to have a nose in on the second straight, where of course there's a second dose of DRS, and he is ahead. Mick meanwhile is in a train that begins, well, with Ocon at the moment. We'll actually rewatch that overtake on Russell. Whilst it's made with DRS, it is very much finished with excellent driving. Just pulled nicely away. Didn't bother doing it on the first. I mean, actually, this is a double DRS zone, so it doesn't really matter that much. The guy at the back still kept his helmet on and closed weirdly. Hamilton is in the top 10 now after a poor qualifying, but I do get the sense that Gasly, Russell, Alonso, well, Magnussen, actually, it's all one train now. I do get the sense that Russell and Gasly are going to just sort of exchange places relatively frequently. It's very important that Gasly sort of stays as the at most second driver in that train. Oh, Gasly got ahead of Russell there. That was not good news, not good work. Oh, Gasly actually stayed ahead. Yeah, so the front three are in the world of their own, which we were kind of expecting. But we are still making it one train. One train from Gasly back to Vettel in 14th, or Russell back to... basically, it's 11 cars. Meanwhile, Stroll and Zhou are fighting out to be last, or not last. Kind of, now Gasly's the third in the train. It's kind of up to him to try and get past the leader at some point. Until someone's tyres go off and this train splits in half, Mick's a little bit stuck down the order. Do wonder if Mick can harvest. No, he can't. Neither driver can do it, but... I mean, Mick sort of got away with it just because Vettel got past him and then Mick DRS'd him back again. But I can't stay DRSing for too long. Saving ERS, sorry, on either of them. Something has happened.
That's a spin.
It's a knock-on spin, which really doesn't help anyone.
We've had a crash.
In the grand scheme of things, just moves Mick up a place. Verstappen has crashed, though. And that has not helped anyone at the front too. Stroll's locked up, he's at the back. It's all kicking off now, but it's not helping either of our drivers. Sainz may have broken the DRS in 10th, but he's sort of back in line now, and Gasly is temporarily second in this queue, 5th overall.
This is good, come on.
I don't really like going on 16 times, really. when we're in a train like this. Sort of either waiting for the pit stops or for there to be, Gasly's got to the front, or to there to be a major incident. Because it's going to keep swapping places. Actually, Mick's doing very well on his tyres considering we pushed him for the first lap. Russell's down to 7th. What happened there? Ricciardo's through to 5th. I'm actually going to watch this highlight because I'm intrigued to see what, just to recheck what everyone's tyres are. Alonso's on softs, Russell's on softs. So is it the softs going off? Is that what's happening? Because I don't know who was at the front of the train at that point. It might have been Alonso. So is it the combination of the softs going off? Combination of softs going off and DRS in that particular incident? Yeah, they're down to sort of 50-ish%. Mick's actually kept his tyres really well considering these 4 also started on fresh softs. But he's going to be in a position where he can probably push these when it comes to the pits. But yes, Ricciardo and... I mean, that's actually perfect for Pierre. He's being behind by the detection point. Because now Ricciardo's the one without DRS. Gasly will have DRS, but it activates on this line here. There we are. Which means he's just going to saunter up to the back of Ricciardo and probably pass him if he decides to go, you know, a full car width out the way. Still annoys me. Hamilton's in. That's the first soft pitter, I think. He's also the worst of them, I'm pretty certain. Or he might be medium, hard, soft strategy. He might have been on mediums. So Hamilton and Albon might be doing medium, hard, soft. Weirdly, the two that had... Oh no, he didn't have penalties. It was Sainz that had the penalty. So we don't have any chance of rain, do we? No. Weirdly, Gasly didn't make a move in either DRS zone. He's obviously got another one here, but I'd rather he not do it on this particular zone. I don't know how the McLarens have gone from like being the worst car last race to one of the best ones this race. Norris probably broke his car in practice. He was one of the people who had to retire in the session. Of his own accord, he didn't crash into anyone. Perez in now. They were on mediums, weren't they? So he's doing a 2-stop. I mean, you absolutely don't want to be pitting too early in this particular race, and Gasly's flown past Ricciardo this time. I mean, the fact that Perez pitted, he's going to come out in the train. Vettel's got past Schumacher. Why? What happened there? Gasly's getting 2... Oh, this is because of the pit. Why are you struggling compared to Vettel? Why are you struggling compared to Vettel? Now, you stayed within a second at least, so you're going to have DRS. Because Vettel's tyres are only 2% better. There's no real excuse for you to be there. Now, was there a weird moment when Perez came out of the pits that you had to sort of get out of the way for? Is that what happened? Oh, Ricciardo got Gasly. That's not a huge problem. So he's within a second, so he should be DRSing his way back through, but confused. There's also one train again. Russell, Alonso, Magnussen have pitted. This could actually be devastating for the train, because it obviously puts more than a second between Ricciardo and Sainz. Well, yeah, they're the soft pitters. They're 1 stop. I mean, Mick is 2 laps out, so actually, attack. Might as well attack the tyres now. Get a Vettel back at least, because that gap is broken. And then get him onto those hards. And if there's any incidents in the remaining 47 laps, we can just put him on a new set of hards if necessary, because we've still got a spare one due to the nonsense that happened in practice. Vettel actually going back annoyingly. But Gasly's going for... Actually, Gasly's pit stop is open now, so... And he's got 56% tyres, so he's got perfectly... He's got plenty to push on here. I mean, it'd be nice if Mick could get past Vettel before he pitted. Just use the DRS. He's going to be behind by the detection point at least, which is nice. Who was ahead? Ricciardo was ahead before that happened. So Gasly's got DRS and he's attacking his tyres now. Is Mick going to make a move before he pits here? It's not necessary, but it could cause a problem. Oh, they both pitted. That's not great news. Yep. Sainz is in as well. Norris is in, but he's behind. There's Mick. Because of our optimal pit position, we've actually got past Vettel in the pit stop, so that's good news for Mick in specifics, and he's going to get ahead of Magnussen, who nearly has a moment with his teammate.
Can use energy,
Can also probably push his fuel for a lap as well, just go all out for a lap. Try and get in Bottas's DRS as well is important. Because I don't think we can actually push the tyre beyond like a few corners. Just getting that DRS is helpful. Stay behind. The detection point is sort of there, so he's going to have the detection point. Might get himself on the inside here, and does. Bottas, of course, has pitted already, hasn't he? Yeah. I'm not quite sure why Mick's so fast in comparison. Mick legitimately about to do the fastest lap, if he had a full lap. So the fastest middle sector of all, and the fastest last sector of all. Mick just inexplicably on the charge here. And he is on full deployment. If you can get into Sainz's DRS, that's the main thing. Ooh, detection point is just going to be outside him, I think. I am expecting an incident by the end of the race, but we can't drive with the anticipation there is going to be an incident. Perez has actually closed back up to Gasly here. I think we might as well just save the ERS at this point, because now Mick's on the back of Sainz. All right, so there's our pit stop for Gasly at least. Might harvest on the in lap for Gasly, even though he's attacking everything else. I mean, Mick's legitimately fighting Sainz here, which is quite funny. Now, Ricciardo is going to come out vaguely in the same place. He's slightly ahead, but Mick's got through Sainz, who is struggling admittedly, of course, this weekend, but yeah, 2 seconds ahead. Might rewatch that, actually.
Take a look now. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher.
On the outside, going into turn 1, I guess. And then turn 2, he's on the inside.
Which moves them up a position.
It's actually really good driving by Mick. We are using Ferrari engines as well, so
cheering them on.
that is the supplier being overtaken by the supplyee. I don't know what the official term is. Recipient, I guess. Gasly did stay in DRS range the entire lap despite harvesting, which is remarkably good work, actually. Now, I am concerned Ricciardo's probably had a good outlap there, but Pierre will have 1 lap better tyres. Hards on. Oh, as soon as I can flip this from harvest to deploy. There goes Alonso as well. They got an undercut. Oh, he's actually ahead of Ricciardo, surprisingly. I wasn't expecting him to be ahead of Ricciardo. But yeah, definitely get within range of Alonso's DRS at some point. That'll be nice. Someone's locked up somewhere. Oh, don't be a safety car immediately after that. No, we're fine. Is it someone at the back? Because I'm not seeing a problem. Yeah, it's Joe. But importantly there, Gasly has pulled out the second on Ricciardo. Who's Mick lost the position to? Oh, Sainz. Okay, so that's becoming a little bit more fighty than necessary. But Mick legitimately fighting for a top 10 place after starting 17th is really good work. Gasly having to decide which way he wants to go. Can't really push the tyres too much because he's not good on them. We'll save a lap's worth of ERS at this stage. Why is he so far behind? What's happened there? Oh, he's back in range now. And Mick got Sainz back too. So Schumacher and Sainz are swapping places, which is a sentence I wasn't expecting to say this weekend. Gasly's on the fastest lap. I really ought to actually put that in as an incentive going forward because he keeps doing them. He's got past Hamilton as well in the train. Not sure how, but he did. So it's Perez from Leclerc. Perez actually got the lead from Leclerc in the pit stops. They were the other way around. Still surprised we've not had a safety car worthy incident, considering the number of crashes in practices. Alonso 10 seconds off the lead as things stand. It's actually less than it was in the pit stops. Before the pit stops, it was about 12 seconds then. Mick's now leading his own train. And there's the probable safety car / red flag. It's a safety car. Honestly, I think at this point, don't bother. Unless anyone else pits, don't bother. It's Zhou. Oh, is it Stroll and Zhou at the back? It says several cars involved, so is it Zhou into the back of Stroll? Poor Stroll, actually, this weekend. Welcome back to Canada. Yeah. He's been crashed into twice this weekend. Happy Canada. I can say both tyres are about 90%. It's not worth pitting. Why did the safety car not pick up the leader? I don't understand. Show's got a penalty, but they're already out. I'm so confused. So we can't actually take anything off yet, just because we've got to make sure we get closed up now. The safety car's picking them up now. I think we can probably start conserving everything with Pierre now, although I am still somewhat concerned we're not going to get caught up. Okay, so the hairpin provided a lot of opportunity for everyone to get caught up there, and we've definitely got one more lap, so we will be able to harvest through this lap. There we go. Albon's caught up. 3 to go. Just Tsunoda. Oh, Stroll, I suppose, needs to get caught up, but he's in the train. He's been lapped. Kind of happened at a good time for Gasly, this, because this gives him a really good opportunity to get past Russell and Alonso again. Gasly, what are you doing, buddy? Why are our drivers driving in the grass at this stage? Flip him over now. Mick's just in the wall inexplicably now. Is it? Ferrari's... What is going on with this restart? Everyone is all over the place. Like, no one had a consistent line there. It's absolute carnage. Alonso's just flying around the outside of someone there. Oh, it's Stroll. He's trying to get out of the way. Stroll caused a bit of carnage, but I think everyone's through it fine. Except for, ironically, Bottas got held up, I think. I think Sainz and Bottas got caught up with Stroll.
So happy to let these guys,
which is ironic for Bottas' sake, but Sainz is now 13th. No one really gained any positions, unfortunately. Well, Hamilton lost out massively, just in pure time. There's obviously no DRS for 3 laps. So Mick on the back of Ricciardo. Is he going to make a move here? I'm happy to leave him on sort of attack for a corner here. Go on, Mick. He's done it. Back onto neutral, please, on everything. Gasly's still not taking anyone, unfortunately, but I was really hoping he was going to get someone, but in a similar move to what we saw Gasly do. No, this is actually Mick's move. He did exactly what he did with Sainz on the inside onto that corner and ahead by the time he gets out of it. Now, if Mick can sort of close the gap to Hamilton, maybe? Have we got a little bit more room to go aggressive? To get caught up to Hamilton, maybe?
push now.
So, because Hamilton hasn't got his own DRS, so if we can sort of push with Mick a little bit, or maybe actually letting Ricciardo through wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Go on, Mick. Oh, Hamilton got in DRS range of the train ahead, so that's not going to help anymore. Nothing I can do about that. But it is just Ricciardo and Mick together, and that is it, thankfully. Oh, the safety car actually ruined Perez's race because Leclerc got him, and now Verstappen's on his back.
Looks like Aston Martin just gained a race position.
Slingshot has allowed Ricciardo and Mick to get sort of in touching distance with that train that begins with Alonso. Actually, rewatch that one because that's in a train. Oh, no, actually, I think Russell might be in the front of the particular train at that point in time. So he didn't have DRS going through this. And he's lost out to both Alonso and Gasly in the process. That's what's happened there. No issues. But yeah, Mick is now in this train. Oh, he gets within sort of DRS range, I think, at some point. But he isn't actually having DRS. He's allowing Albon to close in. This might be a game of chicken by the time we get to the last lap. Sort of make sure you're the one behind, effectively. Yeah, we're losing time now to the Gasly train. But it's just going backwards and forwards constantly. Fortunately, this has become a bit of a DRS monster, this race. But those front three fighting each other is... Give me a modicum... Why has Hamilton got through and sort of broken through? Sorry, how has Hamilton done that? Like, Hamilton is through and he's broken the DRS. I mean, Russell's technically in it now, but... Okay, so yeah, we've reconnected up now, but I don't know how Hamilton got away with that. This is unfortunate now. After an incredibly, I'd say, eventful practice... where people were crashing left, right and centre. There was rain coming in and going out again, which was irritating for practice because you just want to get on with it. The race has done the exact opposite. Now Gasly's the one that sort of got through and put a little bit of a gap in. Not enough to break DRS, of course, but he's sort of notably ahead of Hamilton. To the point where I'm not fully certain Hamilton will challenge. He will do. It's a shame this is just sort of become a bit arbitrary. Gasly will probably get him back here. No, he didn't. Oh, and there's the crash. Oh, I did call it. I called it. How many laps on the mediums did he do? Well, we can say there's 22 laps between 93% and 45. So, yeah, that's good for 22. And we've got 21 remaining. And bear in mind, everyone's hard compound tyres are going to be down at the end of this anyway. Or do you go on a new set of hards and just blitz them? Mick's got brand new mediums. He's got no problems at all. Oh, I'm not sure about Gasly. There's actually not a lot between them. There's only like 6 seconds between them is my concern. I mean, I hope we see the incident. I said a couple of laps ago, the front three are alarmingly close together and, oh dear God, it's all of them. Leclerc and Verstappen are out. Gasly is third without pitting. Perez is going to have to pit. So Perez is obviously pitting here. Yeah, Hamilton stayed out. I'm putting Mick in though, because I think he can use those mediums to the end. I'm taking advantage of this free pit stop, hopefully. I'm actually holding Perez up by doing this because he was about to be released at that same moment. So he'll come back out in 12th, I think. Or 13th, Bottas will get through. It was a risk doing that with Mick, but Mick was more borderline by the end of this race. In fact, we could have probably just about got away with softs. He's going to have to chase the queue, I suppose, a little bit harder. But I think Gasly's already in it because he is the safety car, basically, yeah.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, got it.
Can't imagine he'll pit yet, so yeah, we'll be fine. Conserve the tyres, Mick. Conserve the fuel. Conserve the ERS. It's probably just Stroll that doesn't get caught up.
Safety car will be in.
Unbelievably, Pierre Gasly's fighting for a race win again. I just realised I didn't come back after looking at the Leclerc crash, but Perez went on brand new softs rather than mediums.
With no DRS. Use energy if you need. Copy.
So I don't think we can attack too hard with these, but the ERS is going to help more than anything. Poor Stroll didn't get caught up, but he is on fresh softs and the lap down anyway.
Good job, that's going to help you.
In fact, Hamilton's tyres are worse than Gasly's, but he's planning to pit again. Hamilton's planning to pit again. I forgot about that.
Tyres cool.
Right, just keep the tyres at this point, though. Don't bother faffing around. So Mick just needs to make moves up as best he can. On the inside of Bottas here. Doesn't really have the ERS to deploy with, unfortunately. Right, so that's Bottas down. Effectively, he's got to try and follow Perez through.
That's it. Copy.
I don't want to burn the tyres immediately. He's still got 18 laps to do on these. Hamilton's already a second behind Gasly, and I'm not... Oh, whoops. Accidentally used his entire battery. But yeah, we've got to... I mean, Gasly's now just running away. And he's done a new fastest lap, because why wouldn't he? Hamilton will take that when he pits onto softs, I imagine. Hamilton and Alonso are pitting again. Ricciardo's in a shout for a podium here. There's no DRS yet, which of course is a marginal problem here. But I need Mick to be marginally more aggressive, I think, because he's losing time now. We just need this pack to separate out a little bit more. Go on, Mick. Get Ocon, will you? Oh, sorry. It was Hamilton and Albon that were on the medium, hard, soft strategy. So Alonso's just where he is. So we'll be expecting Hamilton to pit soon then. In fact, whilst he's doing this, could you harvest? Yeah, so while there's a trade here, we can just sort of get away with harvesting. Kind of vaguely in the knowledge that Hamilton is going to pit. Although is Hamilton not planning to pit anymore, is what I want to know. Because he should be on the same strategy as Albon, but he's not pitted yet. And Mick still hasn't got Ocon, but he is, of course, harvesting. Deliberately. Whilst this train remains, actually, it's not too bad. Right, so now he's not harvesting, he can actually have a go at these guys. I mean, unless something happens with Mick, he's pretty much guaranteed points here. I think I'm just going to have to get him to bring the pace back up just to avoid allowing Hamilton getting into DRS here. On to Russell. Russell just lost 3 places. Oh, I forgot about Perez and all this. Russell has just lost 3 places in a row, basically. I was hoping Mick would follow Perez through as he charged through on these new softs, but no. But Mick's up to 9. Now picking off these drivers who are on used hards. Let's watch him overtake his mentor here. This is... I say it's DRS assisted, but they've all got DRS. Anyway, here he is having a go at Sainz. Mick Schumacher on Carlos Sainz for the second time this race, actually. Round the outside. That's ballsy, Mick. Go on. Mugged Sainz off there. We'll rewatch that because that's nice, because I get to talk over this now. Because earlier in the race, he went on the outside of Sainz into that corner. So he ended up on the inside there. This time he did on the reverse, on the inside to the outside, and just with the extra tyre wear. Yeah. Anyways, Mick on his former teammate Magnussen next. It's getting a little bit trickier for Mick now. We've got to really, really wait for these tyres to go off for these 3. They're about to hit 50% though, so... We've also got to worry about Perez, whose tyres are going, but he is still on softs. Gasly's kind of holding firm with the gap as... Oh god, he's still pushing fuel. Perez and Hamilton are fighting behind. Actually, I need to do that same with Mick now, just to make sure he doesn't run out. Mick does still have deployment here. Could be worth using. Mick, I know this is the game's fault, but you need to go further out to go past someone. There you go. You worked it out on the second straight. The AI is awful at times. Right, that's Magnussen, I would imagine. Just does the same what he did with Carlos Sainz. Round Magnussen he goes into 7th, now higher up than he was when he pitted behind the safety car, so... Or equal to where he was when he pitted behind the safety car, so won't bother rewatching that one. Actually, sorry, it's his forward teammate. Let's watch it. And he's still got 20-odd% better tyres, so... If he can get these 3... Oh no. Perez has joined the party at the front. His tyres are not going off anywhere near as fast as I was expecting them to. And Hamilton's decided not to pit after all, it seems. Right, Mick, are you getting yourself into position to deal with George Russell here? Because it'd be nice if you were. There goes Perez through on Gasly, unfortunately. At the very least, you get to DRS him, hopefully. Oh, Mick's got on the inside of Russell. It's a lovely move, lovely opportunities move. We'll watch Perez get Gasly though. So yeah, DRS assisted of course, but the one thing I love about all of Mick's overtakes here is, whilst he's got DRS, everyone he's overtaking has DRS as well. So it's not just straight up a DRS being, you know, letting him through, which that was.
The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
What happened out there is Perez on softs versus Gasly on old hards. But every single move mixed on here is genuine overtake, lifelike DRS. Obviously the tyres are working in his favour, but that's strategy. Yeah, Gasly at least is kept within DRS range of Perez. So that toe is there, and of course that's going to help him save fuel. And he's actually taking Ricciardo before the hairpin. He's actually got a lot. Sorry, what's happened there? Was that on the DRS on the back straight? Okay, so this is DRS on the back straight. Alonso had DRS there as well, but, you know, that's worked out. And importantly here, Mick is behind by the DRS detection point, which is there for some reason, which means Mick on this main straight here has DRS just to pull away from Ricciardo. And then on the next straight, we'll have DRS to pull away from Alonso and Ricciardo. So by actually overtaking before the DRS activated, he's just had 2 whole straights worth of DRS to pull away. I won't be surprised if Mick's getting close to a fastest lap. Weirdly, Perez didn't do a fastest lap in all that either. It's not a personal best at least. He's pulled out the second, so he's not going to get clawed back in. Schumacher is 4th. He started 17th. Come on, Mick, don't mess this up now. Don't mess this up. I mean, don't get me wrong, Leclerc and Verstappen have crashed out. Those are 2 of the places that he's gained. But 17th to 4th. I mean, at least Gasly's having a go at Perez back again, it seems. So this race isn't over, because those softs, of course, are coming down at a similar-ish rate. Actually, Mick, 6 laps to go. Gasly's taking Perez back. 6 laps to go. Perez tyres are going. Gasly and Hamilton's tyres are going to be going. Rewatch that. But while we rewatch that, I'm just going to pose the question. There's Mick in the background, lurking. 6 laps to go, 4 seconds to get back here. Over 3 cars whose tyres are going to be below 40% by the end of the race. Probably. Or around 40%. Whereas Mick's tyres are going to be probably about 60, 40, 55, 60 by the end of this. The gap is currently 4.0. Now, there's going to be a bit of DRS sort of, you know, flinging. Mick's also got 1 full lap's worth of ERS to burn at some point. And of course, I can always turn his tyres up for the few laps towards the end. I can certainly get Mick into this fight. He's gained up. I was about to say he's gained half a second, but it became 3.3 once he got past the hairpin. Whatever's going wrong off of these tyres is the hairpin is allowed Mickey to get a lot of time. Now, of course, there's DRS assisted pulling away during these straights, but so he's coming back out again during the DRS straights, but
5 to go.
He's gained a little bit. Perez pulled out over a second on that particular lap, though. Hamilton's taken Gasly, but he'll just get him back again. I think 3 laps to go. I'll just go full out attack on Mick's tyres. Oh, that's to leader. Mick is only a second behind. Mick is officially within a second. Okay, so we're about to hit 2 laps to go. Mick is on the back of Hamilton, because I think both Gasly and... who's got the DRS here? I can't work it out. Mick's definitely got DRS. I don't think Gasly has. Mick's just taken them both.
2 laps to go.
Mick did have DRS, but Mick's just taken them both. Mick's in second.
That's it.
This will be Mick's first podium. I mean, there's 2 laps to go here.
Take a look now.
I forgot to come back, but Schumacher passed both Hamilton. I think actually Pierre's just held him back. I think Hamilton might have had DRS there as well, but he's held him back.
Really capitalized on that opportunity.
So hopefully they won't fight each other now, because obviously Mick's got better tyres. It's all about keeping Gasly ahead of Hamilton now. 2 laps to go. Do I just full out attack these tyres and see if Mick can catch Perez in 2 laps or 1.5 laps? I'll of course also allow him to use ERS on the last lap. I mean, this will save Gasly on this particular lap. I think Mick will obviously have the tyre wear to sort of defend any DRS attack. But I'll put that on just in case, because that might actually block off Hamilton trying to do any DRS pass as well. What part of do not overtake do you not understand, Pierre? Mick, deploy. You've got 3 seconds to gain here. How much have you got, Pierre?
Energy if you need it.
Might as well attack the tyres, Pierre. Just because I'm marginally concerned by Mick sort of overcooking it at the hairpin. He's not going to get close enough to Perez, so... Hey, Gasly got DRS at least, so that's going to help him defend. It's going to be a double podium for Aston Martin here. I've forgotten to come back, but it doesn't really matter.
We need to charge DRS.
Oh, beautiful work at the end there. Beautiful work. Perez may have won, but it's a double podium for us. Why are we good now? We're still like the 5th or 6th best car overall. We've obviously capitalised there, but
Take all the pickup you can.
we had to risk it with Gasly and stay out. But if we'd come in, we probably would have maybe won that. I didn't anticipate Perez to get through the field that quickly.
It would be P1.
Is probably what's happened there. Doohan we've got to wait for, and Stroll we've got to wait for still. And there we go. Well, we'll get out of the way for the podium, which we'll see young Mick on the second step. Oh, actually, this is the first time Mick's finished ahead.
Living the dream. Exceptional work from Mick Schumacher.
I didn't know what Crofty's line was for Mick. There we go. We've heard Pierre's over and over again. Oh, what a feel-good podium that is. Perez, Mick and Gasly.
And it really comes as
I feel like we've overlooked Gasly on that podium there.
name up in life,
Oh, he actually got his own podium line as well.
securing precious
Look at that.
points for their team. Aston
Excellent.
Martin.
Quick question. How the hell are we not ahead of Mercedes now? Hamilton 4th, Russell 8th. They got 16 points and we got 34 and PS fastest lap. Oh, I could have done the fastest lap incentive. I still don't know how Perez never did a faster lap. I don't know how Mick didn't do a faster lap in clean air. Interesting. But yeah, we got 34 and they got 16, so it's an 18-point gap this particular race, and they were 20 ahead. So we're 2 points behind Mercedes, if my maths is correct there. But Mick Schumacher from 17th to 2nd. Obviously, without Leclerc and Verstappen, that's a completely different race. Max got a point from being on pole. Got slightly confused there. So Pierre remains 4th. Perez up to 2nd. Max Verstappen has almost a 2-race lead at this point. In fact, that is exactly a 2-point. Oh, it's not exactly a 2-race lead because of the pole points going forward. But if it was just the regular 26 on deck, then that would be exactly a 2-race lead. But Pierre stays 4th, 110 points from Carlos Sainz remains 5th with 2 points. The fact that Carlos Sainz got points with a broken car is actually still quite impressive. But Mick up to 9th with 18 points, 30 points for the season now. More than doubling his tally. And indeed, that doesn't bring us 2 points behind Merck into what is now a fight for 3rd. 1 win, 4 podiums, 4 fastest laps. Sorry, we actually have the most fastest laps of anyone. I am genuinely going to have to stop putting that as an incentive. I love the fact that we've had 1 win and 4 podiums and we are still behind Mercedes, who have had 1 win. That's it. The win is the podium. Meanwhile, Red Bull have had podiums in every single race and won 6 of them. Ferrari with the other win. 1,300 points for Pierre. 1,400 for Mick. That is unbelievable work. He had 24 successful overtakes, 38 successful defends. Christ on a bike, Mick. Meanwhile, Pierre had basically the same, actually. 23 successful overtakes and 37 defends. Lot of DRS overtaking, of course, with Pierre. Mick was more of a case of going through the field twice. Huge haul of points. We get the performance incentive as well from qualifying, I believe. Did see a point for Pierre there, so let's attribute that once we get back to HQ. That goes into defending. How close is Mick to another point? Next race, probably. And race engineer with a point. Cronin gets to 82. I'm just taking the pit crew management to 85. I might actually bring feedback up a little bit just to get their feedback faster in practice sessions going forward. All right, so the weather centre is in poor condition apparently. It costs 1 million to refurbish or 3 million to upgrade. At this point, we'll upgrade. Oh, and yes, there is a new parts development. Let's find the sweet spots. Because this is the more minor part of the two that we're going to be developing in this section. I mean, if we can get medium speed to... Oh, that actually finally brings everything up. Something like that, maybe? Still leaves 50 hours on the board. Maybe 32 and 40, we'll divvy it up like that. Because we get to, obviously, focus on this bit now. I don't really know where to bring this. Airspeed sensitivity. I mean, we don't really need much in low speed. But I do kind of feel the need to at least keep that even going forward. Honestly, I might just do it on everything. There. Bring that top speed right up. And we've got 4 available engineers, but we do obviously like to leave 1 for research purposes, although that research is going to be a while, so might as well stick all 4 of them on it. We'll stick 4 of them on because we want 5 for the other part. And how much does it cost to do expertise on this? 2 million? Can't really afford it. We'll just do it on normal. 60 days. That's quite a while, actually. That's 2 months. So I just accepted that and moved on. Oh, so that will come in actually exactly for the second half of this season, which is good. because that's what we want to make sure is we kind of want to make sure we're not developing any new parts in the second half of this season. Realistically, definitely nothing coming in after Dutch Grand Prix. Oh, the Italian Grand Prix, sorry. Nothing coming in for the last 6 or 7 races. If we can get everything sorted by the end of this stretch of 3, we're good. But mixed up to 9th, he's in the top half of the Drivers' Constructors now. Drivers' Constructors, you know what I meant. Drivers' Championship. Next time out, Silverstone. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed watching this video, do like, comment, subscribe. First double podium. Until next time, ciao.